Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. Happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in November, and this is your November 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. As far as personal readings go, I'm actually taking a break from those until probably early next year, so I just wanted to give you an update on that. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled some oracle cards and a Mudra card for you. So we'll get started with the main spread. Main situation position, we have a few cards that came up. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, which is 10th house for you. We have the Ten of Cups, which is Pisces energy, which is 4th house for you. And we have Justice, which is Libra energy, and that's the 11th house for you. Oh, and didn't realize we had this as well. And we have the Five of Wands. Okay. So that's Leo energy, which for you guys is your 6th house. So all kinds of stuff going on here. All right. So with the Hermit energy, the first thought that I was getting with seeing the Hermit and then the actual Ten of Cups, with Justice following that, could just be saying that some of you might be trying to find a balance between your work lives and spending time with family, given that this represents your 4th house. So, for example, let's say you have a lot of work that you need to get done, and there could be some uncertainty around you guys being able to make it home for the holidays, right? Since we're getting to around that time where no matter where in the world you are, November, December, there's some kind of holidays going on. So it could be as simple as that, where you're like, all right, well, I need to try to strike that balance between, okay, how much time can I spend with my family, if any at all, right? So there could be some confusion around that, and maybe even some arguments around the workplace because of that. Like, look, I'm trying to see my family. I have way too much work I need to get done. Is there any way we could work something out? Could be something along those lines. But really what I'm seeing with this primarily, more than what we just talked about there, is I have a feeling like this is you guys actually wanting to restore balance with a romantic connection and, you know, trying to figure out how best to do so. And obviously it could just be saying that you might have had arguments with this person in the past, so you might have already had a falling out with them. So you're just trying to figure out, all right, well, how can I actually get back on good terms with this person? So hopefully one of those storylines resonated with you guys, because there were so many cards there. Challenge or obstacle position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is actually Jupiter energy, which is your ruler, and then Page of Cups. So yeah, with these coming up in the challenge, it could just be saying that the timing isn't right now, because if you were to try to come forward to this person, I feel like you'd still have some nervousness around it. So, you know, what you want to say to them might not come out right. And that makes sense. I mean, we just have that Mercury retrograde that started up in Scorpio. And even though it's going to end technically pretty early on in November, we're still going to have that shadow period. And even when it fully is clear of that, it's still going to be in your 12th house at that point too. So, you know, the way you want to communicate something might not come out the way you hoped it would. So that could be why you're really trying to, you know, think about it and figure out, all right, how best can I approach this? Because you might feel like, you know, that, all right, if I approach them now, I just have a feeling that I'm going to stumble over my words, right, and not get the point across the way I hope to. So that's what I'm seeing there. See if anything else comes to mind with that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm getting with that. Now in the foundation position, though, we do have the Magician. And I actually view this as also a Jupiter energy sometimes, just because he has access to all of the tools there. He has the wands, the cups, the pentacles, and the swords. To me, this is like a manifestation energy. And so to have this in the foundation could just be saying that, you know, you actually can work this situation out. But again, like I said, it looks like you're at the very least trying to give a lot of thought as to how to approach this person. And like I said, for some of you, it can be family too. So maybe it's a relative you haven't seen in a while. Now you're like, okay, I'm going to be going home for the holidays. All right, I might want to talk to this person before I actually get there, right, to make sure everything's good. So it could be something like that too. Primarily, I picked up on the romantic relationship for a lot of you, but it could definitely be a family thing as well. But yeah, with this showing up in the foundation especially, I would say this isn't a good indicator that you can figure out something that will work. Alright, in the past position, we have the Four of Swords, which is actually Libra energy, usually represents healing. Technically, at the time I'm recording this, we're actually still in these degrees of Libra, so, as far as the timeline goes, you could say between the 10th and 20th of October, give or take a couple days on either side. This might have been when you were in this energy, for those of you who actually end up watching this in November, since this is in the past position. But yeah, naturally this card comes after the Three of Swords, so this is another indicator that there was some kind of heartbreak. Whether, like I said, it was a romantic connection, which was the first thing that came to mind, maybe even a friendship, a relative. Looks like there has been some healing that's been taking place for you guys around that. Okay, in the present position, we have the Four of Cups, which is Cancer energy, and the Eight of Swords, which is Gemini energy. So, again, I'm getting that vibe again, where this is saying that, you might have other offers coming your way, but you really might just be set on reconnecting with a person from your past, and because of that, you might be hesitant to move forward with any of these new offers. Given that the Eight of Swords represents Gemini energy, which is your opposite sign. So that's what I'm seeing there with these energies. Can be around, well, let me see if anything else comes to mind with that, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's really what I'm picking up on primarily. So, I mean, for those of you who weren't looking for this to be related to romantic relationships, my apologies, but that's what keeps coming first and foremost with this reading. In the near future position, we have the Five of Swords. So, I will say with this card coming up, especially since we did see that Five of Wands buried at the bottom of this pile, seeing this in the near future position could just be saying that your intuition was probably right in that regard, which is to say that if you were to reconnect with this person too early, it might actually still lead to an argument. This is Aquarius energy here too, which for you guys is your house of communication. So, and like I said, we have that Mercury retrograde energy, obviously, and yes, it'll wrap up early in November, but it'll still be moving through your 12th house, which isn't the best location for Mercury to be. So, what you want to say might not come out the way that you hoped it would. Now, usually this is, a somewhat minor conflict. It's definitely an annoying situation to go through because it's one of those things where both parties usually know nothing good's going to come from it anyway, but they still engage in it. So that's definitely a bit frustrating. But yeah, I don't see a doom and gloom scenario around this if you can avoid it for whatever reason. But just know that this energy is on the table. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Page of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse. So, more Aquarius energy here, and then this doesn't represent a particular air sign, it just represents the energy itself. So, with these both in reverse, I feel like this is saying you're really not communicating with this person. I feel like there's a definite shyness around doing so. So, I'm sure you guys both played a part in the situation in some way, but it feels like for whatever reason you, at the very least, you might feel like you were more at fault in whatever the situation was. So I feel like there's some hesitancy on your part to come forward to communicate to this person. Now, for a small percentage of you, this can say that you actually would do so. I always point out how, for me, the Page of Swords, that those trees in the background always remind me of the F from the Facebook logo. So for some of you might decide, all right, well, let me just test the waters through social media, right? As opposed to calling them, or like I said, for those of you, if this is a relative, you might see during the holidays, or a friend from back home, if you go home for the holidays, you might be like, oh, let me just test the waters first. So some of you might actually reach out, but for the majority of you, it looks like you're just really being quiet right now and hesitant to come forward with communication. All right, in the environment position, we have the High Priestess. So this is an interesting energy to see here too, because on the one hand, if this is your energy, this is just emphasizing again that you're really not communicating. You're trying to rely strictly on your intuition, keeping things to yourself, not expressing your feelings. But at the same time, if this is another person, then I can see why you might have a little bit of shyness around communicating with them, because those energies I just described that could be coming from you could be coming from them. So obviously it'd be hard for you to read, okay, well, I'm not sure how it would be received if I reached out and talked to them, right? Um, but this can point for you guys too, like I was saying, the Mercury retrograde will wrap up early in November. It'll start moving forward through your 12th house. And this, for me, is usually a Pisces type energy, which is the natural ruler of the 12th house. So it could just be saying that you might get some intuitive insights on how best to move forward with the situation. Especially just, I mean, Scorpio season in general, you can have at least some activity going through your 12th house. So that could be what that's pointing to there. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Chariot. So this is actually the major arcana card for Cancer. So to me, this is saying that obviously you want to move forward with this person. Possibly even this can be related to travel for some of you as well. So again, like I said, maybe this is someone that you're going to be seeing for the holidays, and you might just have a little fear, like, all right, I haven't spoken to this person in a while. We had a falling out, so there could be a little hesitancy on your part there, but like I say to people, whether there's a great card here or not so good card, it's just a hopes or fears. So it's just pointing more to something that's on your mind as opposed to actually how something will play out. But yeah, definitely looks like you're looking for some forward positive progress with the situation. And at the bottom of the deck as well, we have the Six of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, but definitely to me is pointing to that desire to reconcile, right? I usually call this the being the bigger person card too, because it looks like there's a size difference between the two people, and then it looks like the bigger person is actually handing the cup to the other. So could just be saying extending the olive branch. That's, at the very least what's on your mind, and I definitely do pick up on that. And interestingly enough, beneath that we have the Nine of Swords, which would show obvious anxiety around making that move, right? Making that gesture. And interestingly enough, this represents the middle 10 degrees of Scorpio, which is right where that Mercury retrograde started as well. So it could be some significance there. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Temperance card. So this is the major arcana card for your sign. So that's definitely a good indicator, especially in the outcome position, that I feel like things will end up working out for you guys. Sometimes with this card, I get the vibe of something being worked out behind the scenes too. So, maybe for those of you who really are hesitant to reach out to someone, like I said, maybe those transits moving through your 12th house, you might get some signs through your dreams, for example, or maybe just some weird synchronicity where you might hear a song that just gives you some kind of insight on how to move forward or reminds you of the person, and you take it as a sign that, okay, maybe it is the right time to reach out to them. So that's what I see there. Either way, it looks like it's saying you're going to end up in balance and in power by the end of the month. So even if it is a little bumpy at points, if you do reach out to the person, it looks like things will be rebalanced and restored by the end of the month. So definitely pretty good energy to see there. All right, moving on to the Oracle cards. First we have Imagine. And there's the artwork, and the number is 20. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and interestingly enough, 20 is the same number as the Judgment card, which also points to things coming back around in the past. So could be some significance there. All right, let's see. It says turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings, creativity, illusions. The Oracle's message. Who do you want to be? What do you need to believe in order to have the life you want? You were gifted with the power to imagine. If you can dream it, you can create it. This is the time when your imagination is the key to manifesting the life you desire. Spend time daydreaming, fashioning a vision board to help you see your goals, or meditating. Allow the power of your creativity to deliver messages of what feeds your soul. Then allow your feelings to mingle with your inspirations and imagine these things being real right now. Then repeat. What you imagine will become your belief, and soon you will see these things come to pass in the outer world as if by magic. So definitely an interesting message there. Like I said, for a lot of you, this really did take a turn to primarily like a romantic connection. But even if this is around career or, like I said, family, friendships, whatever the case may be, um, in a way, some of this energy could make sense just as far as, like I said, as we move through Scorpio season, you have activity in your 12th house. And then when we get to Sagittarius season, closer to the end of November, that's when the energy will be in your sign. And then, usually, so with the 12th house movement, that usually is a good time to think of things before actually taking action. The relationship message says in matters of the heart, it's easy to daydream about another as a means of connecting to that person. While that's romantic, if you want this relationship to be real, you need to go for it, not just dream about it. Now is the time to move beyond the daydream and into reality, beyond illusion and into fruition. Relationships are about relating. So step out onto the dance floor where imagination partners with manifestation. The message of this card is that a person with attributes you have imagined will enter your life. You'll be changed for the better. Imagine that. So, interesting message there. It kind of sounds like they're telling you to shoot your shot in that regard with this person. But like I said, I feel you. Looks like you're obviously nervous around that. But yeah, hopefully that resonated. And then the prosperity message says this is a powerful time to get clear on how you create your prosperity, what it means to you to be prosperous, and what attributes you need to develop in yourself to make things happen. Who do you need to be to live out your dreams? Can you imagine the kind of life you desire? Really imagine it without holding back the sheer force of your powers of creativity? If you can envision it, you can have it. Get ready, for prosperity is waiting for you to claim it now. Act as if. Your dreams will really come true. So, that definitely makes me think of the Magician card in the Foundation position, and also the High Priestess as well, if that does represent your energy. Alright. So next we have from the Spirit Animal Oracle, you guys got Buffalo Spirit, and it says, the abundant universe will provide. There's the artwork, and the number is 10. So, same as the Wheel of Fortune there. So we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says, Buffalo Spirit comes to you now to remind you of the amazing manifesting power of gratitude and the extraordinary potential available to you when you adopt the mindset of abundance. The ancient people of the Americas saw the buffalo as a symbol of abundance because the herds roamed far and wide and provided so many gifts: the meat, the hide, the bones. The tribes who hunted the buffalo used every bit of them, wasting nothing, appreciative of the abundance. So too do you have many gifts available to you. Buffalo Spirit appears to let you know that you are in a powerful time to manifest your desires, not by force or pushing, but rather by following a natural path that rises up before you, trusting that there is always plenty to go around. Whether it be love, money, inspiration, or support, it's all there for you to claim. When you are grateful, you immediately align yourself with the truth that the world is rich and teeming with resources. There is always more than enough, and you are always enough. At this time, you can expect all your intentions and needs to come into a form that is right for you. Your heartfelt gratitude is making you a magnet for miracles. Buffalo Spirit's message is to remember that you co-create your reality in partnership with Spirit, so offer up your thanks and your prayers even before you see conditions you desire, not just for yourself, but for others too. Then you will quickly see the results in tangible ways. Gratitude has the magic to grow the good, so offer thanks and praise as you acknowledge all that you have and all that is possible. So definitely a pretty positive, supportive message there too, especially about having faith around the situation. So hopefully that resonated with you. And finally, we have a Mudra card for you guys. And the Mudra you guys got for this month is the Granthita Mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is redemption. And there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But it says, prepares the mind for meditation, opens Vishuddha chakra, which is the throat center, benefits the voice, improves thyroid function, increases the body's self-healing capacity, especially in cases of cancer. So definitely sounds positive as far as opening your throat chakra if you are having some shyness around communicating with this person. So if that resonates with you guys, I will put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in November. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.